Blue and one with red. But if you guys think both should be with blue, I'm okay with that.
Right? Yeah, your overall objective is to try to get behind them. Obviously, if you come into contact, then you'll most likely have to fall back entirely.
I'm gonna go get my squad ready.
Sounds good. Yep.
Why is creeping behind you? Why is creeping behind you?
Just a guideline on his if we had contact, feel free to make the decision.
Welcome into Squad Ops One Life events. It's Wednesday. It's the 1st of August, and we've got an open up for you guys tonight on Operation Vanguard. I am Bcarr. Joining me is Jack.
How's it going, everybody?
And producing in the background with some of our point of view streams is Shadowed Ritual. We're going to bring you Operation Vanguard today. 2 rounds of One Life extraordinary gameplay in this game. Wonderful game called Squad. I've been looking forward to Operation Vanguard. Last time I played this, it was a mess. And seeing what with last time we played this, it was a mess, and we had it wasn't just like full of whatchamacallit, people that have taken basic. On open ops, the first Wednesday of every month we have an open op, and this open op is open to the public. All you got to do is register on our website, squadops.gg. You just go to the calendar, and the first Wednesday of the month you just sign up for the operation like everyone else does. And so that's the context for tonight. These open ops are always fun because it mixes in people that have gone through basic, that sort of that understand, that get an overview of what squad ops operations are, with people that are interested that may or may not be really good at squad or something like that. It brings together a lot more people in the player base. It's going to be a fun night. You're going to be glad you tuned in to watch this. So for Operation Vanguard, we've got US versus INS. Let's go ahead and go over who we've got running the squads for tonight's operation for round 1. Jack, if you can.
All right. So on US, for the first time commanding, we have Phoenix. So definitely something to keep in mind. It's his first time, so we'll be watching over him closely. Then underneath him as squad leads, we have Dashby, It's Crispy, Dorf, and Creeping. And then on the other side over at the INS, we have Hero in command, relatively new to commanding, but definitely not his first time. And then underneath him, we have Nasty Nate, Sughart, Xbit, and HML.
Phoenix is a new command. Not even new command. He's a new guy in general. He's one of our, I believe he's on, oh man, what team is he on? Is he on
SOTT?
Yeah, he's on, that's what I thought. He's on SOTT. So SOTT is our training team. Jack is actually a cool guy on that team, a cool guy we call an ATL. Can you explain what the SOTT team does in a handful of words?
Yeah, so the SOTT team stands for Squad Ops, Tactics, and Training. We run all of the courses we offer at Squad Ops. So the basic course, which you need to get in to play these One Life operations. In the basic course, we teach you just the fundamentals that the commanders and squad leads use in these One Life operations, such as fire rates, element sizes, bounding, and stuff like that. We also offer an advanced weapon system course, which teaches you how to handle the different assets in squads, such as the grenade launcher, automatic rifleman, and light anti-tank. And finally, our third course is SOTT vehicle. We teach just the fundamentals of how to use vehicles, not in squad, so to say, but in our operations, how they are used differently.
Very central pillar to the whole squad ops experience. And it's one of those cool things when you get to when I started taking all the SOTT courses, learning, and it definitely gets you noticed for obvious reasons, because the more SOTTs you take, the more likely you get picked for cool things to do in operations because you have that certification. And certainly good things. Just to break you can see here, sort of break the conversation there. Oh God. There's a couple of INS over here, and they're doing something to that bridge, and they're back on their bike and they're rolling away. So let's talk about let's talk about the operation for tonight. Vanguard. Vanguard is a U.S. attack on an INS fixed position, and the catch here is they have a convoy. They want to set up an OP in Hanggu, and what the OP consists of is a fob. It'll have potential for heavy machine guns and a mortar tube, as well as fortifications. Certainly important assets for U.S. to strive to achieve. There's a few bridges between here and Hanggu, between their start point, the lower left hand, the sort of southwest part of the map there, and Hanggu. There's a few bridges, and INS have decided to mine them. So the U.S. convoy, which can't leave the road, the supply truck can't leave the road. They're going to have to clear all the bridges and sweep from west to east to the village of Hanggu, set up their radios so they can set up all their stuff.
My squad's ready.
The catch with that is INS could pretty much move wherever they want to try to ambush them as they attempt to clear the route.
Most likely be delaying to fix some broken things.
The three bridges, INS have already planted those mines at, and you can see they planted mine at bridge 2.
Just constant connects and disconnects.
But the mines can be placed on bridges. Typically in operations, the mines are not placed on bridges, but these roads are different. And it also is kind of important to the operation. There's always this overarching theme to most operations, or if there's not an overarching theme, there's an intent. And the intent is for US to push along the whole road, get to the village, then push through and secure the 4th bridge on the east side of Hanggu. INS can pretty much deploy however they like to try to stop them, and they're going to have some tools to do that with. For INS, go ahead, Jack.
I was just going to say that a very unique thing with this operation is the fact that, like you mentioned, that there will be IEDs and mines on or around bridges, which will really delay the U.S. approach towards the town. As you can see, there are already mines and IEDs on 2 of the bridges between where the convoy has to come. And some unique tactics the INS command has decided to use here. We have a mine on bridge 2, right in the middle, and underneath the bridge, acting as a secondary blast device, they have hidden an IED. So a type of tactic that you can use with this is if the US gets fixated on that mine on the bridge and they send out people to go clear it without clearing underneath, the secondary blast can take out a lot of US forces and deal a lot of damage that way.
And that's the name of the game for INS, is to halt the US convoy, make the US clear obstacles, attack them while they're clearing obstacles, or hinder their obstacle clearance, because they're going to need security. You're going to have to push another team across as a sort of forward security deploy force. And then you still need people to hang back and protect the vehicles, because INS squads have LATs, and there's only so many vehicles that the US has for this operation. They have 5 vehicles.
Hey, I have to go. Something came up.
So along with all the mines and the IEDs that INS have, they get 4 rockets to take out vehicles with at range, which is massive. Let's go ahead and go over the loadouts for this operation, because there's a lot of toys to play with, and we should try touch on a couple of them. For US, the convoy team in blue on your screen with the blue outlines. Each infantry squad will have 2 LMGs, 1 LAT, and 1 medic, along with the squad leader and the FTL roles. We get a lifetime here of 730, which is 30 seconds. Okay, so let's go over this a little bit quicker. They also get 2 MGs for the whole platoon and 2 breacher kits. And the breacher kits have timed satchel charges. They have 20 seconds. You place them, 20 seconds later, it goes boom, just like an IED. For their convoy, it's 3 open top MRAPs and 2 Logi trucks. Once they get to Hagnu or Hangu, the village at the other end of the convoy route, 2 HMGs, 1 mortar. As we go live here, INS in red on your screen. We'll have
and the
2
US
ARs.
forces in blue.
Yep. INS will have 2 ARs, 1 LAT, and 1 medic per squad. And they have 4 scouts. Those are the guys you saw planting mines, planting IEDs, and no vehicles or any sort of fortifications to speak of there. And US moving out. 1 squad north, 1 squad ahead of the convoy. They've gone off the first bridge. And it looks like they have 1 squad in reserve. And they're sort of getting their convoy set up to leave here.
Yes, it seems like command has assigned 2 squads to guard the convoy. We have 1 squad acting as a hit and run mobile unit. They have all the fire support MRAPs. And then we have another squad assigned to the actual logistics part of the convoy, I guess to just defend them. And then we have the 2 squads which should be out there clearing the path for the convoy, which you see on your map moving north in the riverbank.
The convoys moved past Bridge 1, and no casualties. Yay for them. Phoenix did his first thing. Good for Phoenix. So looks like we've got there's 1 squad. Looks like they're going to be 1 squad that takes over the MRAPs here. They got a driver and a gunner. For some reason, the driver in this rear MRAP is a LAT unit. That seems like a mistake, but I guess it's not really a mistake. There's no vehicles for INS. So they're holding. They've moved the whole 200 meters or 100 meters here. And
Yeah, you got orders. Don't dismount.
oh, here we go. Staggered.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
A staggered sort of halt here for the vehicles. That vehicle SOTT training coming in. Command is moving on foot with the vehicles, and there are some INS forces moving in here. Let's see how. Let's see if we can take a look and see where the INS forces. They're all spread out.
2, you're providing overwatch over the bridge, whilst
We can't get a headshot off on them.
All 4 of the INS squads have forward deployed from Hangu. One of them's on the ridge line to the north. There's one on just on the north side of the fields of the farm fields.
Any eyes?
There's a second squad, the third squad that seems to be holding security around an ambush point, and a 4th squad to the south of that ambush point, and that seems to be focused around Bridge 3.
Alright, copy. They're going towards exit. Get a good one.
All right, and it looks like the INS, their scouts or squad leads have called out this U.S. force moving in the riverbank. They had a very good idea. They were moving in a file formation, which was to keep visibility to a minimum. They tried to use the cover, but they have been spotted at this time.
Still a pretty big distance to cover. Looks like about 400 meters, probably more like 500 meters away. So obviously they've still got a little bit of room to maneuver. There's a squad there's an INS squad still climbing up the ridge line. They're almost to the peak of it, and they're going to be pretty obvious to the MRAP. The forward MRAP here probably has a good shot once they skyline. If Little Bump was looking at the ridge line, he could probably pop half that squad with relative ease. Although, granted, these are the open tops, so not a real great magnification. Obviously, you still get the shift button to get some zoom, but you don't get anything crazy like the crows. And Little Bump is now reloading after shooting 0 bullets. 10 out of 10. Oh, the INS squad on the ridgeline's moving with a purpose.
Yeah, we also have a U.S. force that is occupying an OP on top of the mountain. They're going to be providing overwatch and vision over the rest of the convoy and U.S. force. At this time, the Overwatch element have yet to see any contacts, but they're just continuing to scan for that convoy protection.
Don't forget to set your sights at least 300 meters out if you can.
Bridge is clear. Bridge is clear.
Base of that hill.
INS now have spotted the convoy. Expert has eyes on it here. We're looking through Expert's eyes right now.
Roger that. I see them on the tower.
He's probably got about 450, 500 meters on it. But that's what you get when you have these high positions. Matter of fact, you can get a reverse angle here of where Expert is looking at him from. Expert is this is poor. Here we go. On the ridgeline up there.
Squad leader, do you want Broward to move a little more east? Trying to make a line moving south, line facing south.
Oh, an interesting development just happened. U.S. Command has called out the INS flanking squad on the mountain, and they're trying to maneuver creeping squad onto and engage that INS force moving up towards them.
Zero surprise. I mean, once the INS guys got up on the ridge line, I mean, they skylined, and you're gonna get spotted. It's you blow the cover of sort of blending in at distance to the side of the hill. Although that's mainly because none of us have optics. The convoy's moving up a little bit. I think they're gonna cross the second bridge here.
Yes, we're following Sughart's squad right now. He's trying to get eyes on the U.S. convoy, but what he doesn't know is we have a full U.S. squad coming in on their direct southwest at this time.
Contact within 300 meters now. We're going to start seeing some bullets fly over here in the basin. Though they almost moved up, and now it looks like Lil Pump is going to take the lead vehicle in the convoy here across Bridge 2. Now, the objective for U.S. is the first 3 bridges have to be cleared of all INS obstacles before they can set up their outpost in Hanggu. And I wonder, Experts called a fire team forward here in the south. I wonder if they're going to try to get a little rocket action on some stationary targets, because, boy, I mean, they deserve it. They are slowly crawling forward, but only like at 20 meters at a time. It's kind of weird.
Looks like our U.S. squad 5, led by Creeping, is positioning his guys to open fire on this INS element. His ARs are setting up their bipods, and they're looking to rain bullets.
We're running out of cover on this road, Phoenix.
Look at this. Look at this op 4 position, though. They're all prone. They're holding parts of the field here. Their command is the only people up. Everyone else is prone on the ground. Some people in the field here too. Plus 1 lat unit. You can see him. He's got his RPG sticking up on top of him. And they are, most of them are looking west. They're looking west. One of them's looking south, and he's got an assistant, looks like. As shots fired. That may have been in negligent discharge.
Yeah, we have Squad 5 Creeping. He's about to give the open fire command to his guys, as multiple INS are in the open at this time.
Ooh, boy. They got like 20 meters of elevation on them too. This is gonna be bad. This is a great position. This is the ridge line that's sort of north of the AO, and it's sort of really it's the realistic limit that forces are going to be able to move on this map to still be reasonably effective or have some sort of reattack. And here comes the attack now.
Shots are being fired.
That's pretty good. What's the range on that? Probably about 150, 200 meters they engaged. And it looks like the squad lead is panicking. He's moving around. Some of his folks are now moving back.
Still on a visual.
You see those?
Pretty superior position here by the U.S. forces. This is still the only contact in the AO right now, and the INS forces they're displacing pretty heavily here, and now the MRAPs are joining in. The MRAPs, I think at least one of them are engaging. They're just spraying this whole lane right here at range. The MRAPs have gone off road and they have a great elevation here. Ooh, this is interesting. This is cool. The U.S. forces have bypassed a ambushing INS squad that's in the field. Something tells me that INS squad is going to get is going to stand up here, and they're going to try to make a push for the rear of this convoy formation. But the INS squad on the ridgeline still completely pinned. Most of them have fallen through a little bit further north, get to the other side of the ridgeline, and they have cover. They're taking cover behind how hilly this ridgeline is.
And we've yet to have any KIA on this long field engagement up on the hill. Multiple shots been fired from both sides. We had a couple people wounded who have since been healed up by medics, but we still have yet to have our first KIA on this hill.
Medics doing their job, man. And also, you also got to realize at the engagement distance, and you can sort of, if you really want to get into the nitty gritty of it, you know, the bullet damage drop off in this game, it's not tremendous, but it exists. And it may be the only thing saving a bunch of these guys when they got hit. If they were maybe 100 meters closer, that's probably some KIA right there.
Oh, for sure. And you also need to take into account that these guys are majority using iron sights. You know, we do not allow for any magnified optics in our One Life events. We do have the red dots, which the majority of the U.S. forces are using. But from that INS side, almost every single one of them is trying to engage the U.S. forces with that iron sight AKM.
The MRAPs, let's go back to the MRAPs here. Two of them have gone completely off-road. They've gone up this ridge to the south here, and lo and behold, Xbit is up there with a fire team's worth of support, and the MRAPs are trying to find a way around to get a firing position on more of the INS forces.
Oh, and we have our first KIA on this long engagement up on the mountain. It is the U.S. squad lead creeping. He is down.
Wow.
So fire team lead is now taking over for Squad 5.
That's one of the things that you're going to have to get used to. When SLs go down, the chain of command must be preserved. There must be an attempt. Sergeant JC here, the lead MRAP now in the formation, has got a pretty sweet setup for him right here. But he can't go anywhere, so he's a sitting duck. So the moment that INS realized this and shoot a rocket at him, more gunshots over here in the south as INS are trying to engage the U.S. element that's pushed here in the field.
Storm, which MRAP are you talking about?
Rocket goes out.
Copy.
I think I missed it. Oh, U.S. command comms reporting MRAP hit once, and that's usually not good. They've abandoned the MRAP. We should be seeing this thing go pop any second now. Yeah, that's what you get when you're sitting duck in an MRAP, because RPGs are pretty effective.
Down now, but
Xbit is the INS element over here, still in the south. They've got his, he's got a fire team up here with him. RPG unit with a kill.
Yeah, the south side of the ridge is good.
Bybee goes down at range. That's tremendous shots there. Sinful Groove and Sunny. I mean, I'm not sure which one did it, but they're both pretty good. They're both pretty good shots at 150 meters. So, and there's still a lot more INS way up there in the hill to the south. That's actually kind of crazy.
They were at the MRAP's hill.
U.S. forces in the field are pushing through.
Yeah, I got a visual on them. They're heading west side of it.
The MRAPs are, the two MRAPs that are remaining are sort of consolidating right here behind some cover.
Yeah, and we have Squad 1 on the U.S. about to walk up onto a hidden INS element.
On this wall and start line up that whole area. That could be
That
nice.
sounds risky. He's gonna get popped.
Well, then we cover
Ooh,
him.
this was the INS element that was hidden
Do we have eyes
from the
on the
beginning and has evaded detection up until now. That ain't gonna last very long. Distance of engagement here is definitely within 50 meters for about most of the squad, and contact's called. Someone peeked. Oh no, are they shooting?
They're engaging the contacts on top of the hill, so they could potentially walk right up on top of this INS element.
Map op shooting at nothing.
Looks like there's no glass in this.
Map
And
op
the
shooting in the
INS
direction
have
of
called
0
out these
people.
U.S. forces. The INS have called out these U.S. forces, and a frag is out. It might have overshot. It overshot.
Yep, overshot by about 5 meters there.
He's got.
Squad lead definitely sees him.
No, he's dead. He's dead.
Secondary frag out, and down goes its bananas. That was the perfect frag from the squad lead, but their squad lead gets taken down. Lawn Darts is now down.
They're close. Get nades over if you have them.
for you to come down the hill than it is for you to fight back and go
As the U.S. throw frags to try and weed out any remaining INS forces in the field. Their frags will hit nothing at this time, but it is a good idea. You don't want to walk on top of any enemies if you can.
A sitting duck MRAP spotted by I believe it was spotted by enemies, but maybe not. They definitely know he's here. There's prone INS still on the hill. The MRAPs are in a they want to get the high ground, and I can understand this approach, but because the weapon on the MRAPs are so strong, lots of shots being rung out here at range. 200 meters. The MRAP also engaging now. Looks like some more KIA. Yeah, at least one more INS goes down here. Sinful Groove and Sunny, their fire team element is coming back south up the hill.
And with chain of command down on top of that element in the hill for US, they've decided to retreat and pull back down into safety to regroup with the convoy at this time.
Yeah, the Logi parts of the convoy, as the MRAPs are still trying to ping. Oh, looks like it was a kill. The soldier Wolfie goes down at range, but to an MRAP cannon. I guess
And the
not a cannon.
INS forces also in the mountain are pulling back at this time. They took no casualties, but are just pulling back as the U.S. forces are no longer in an area that they can engage them from. So it's a good call from INS Command to reposition their forces at this time.
They still got a squad in reserve that hasn't really seen a lot of action, so definitely moving an element to support them, because you definitely want to keep that squad there. You don't want to move the squad when you don't have to. But the squad on the ridge needs to sort of rejoin, and the squad to the south here needs to find better positions. The MRAPs are sort of pushing through the terrain here. I thought that MRAP almost flipped. They're definitely hidden away from everything else. Meanwhile, as you can see here, the Logis still sitting pretty right after bridge number 2. Man, I kind of want to go over there and be like, how's your war, fellows?
Yeah, that the U.S. have done an excellent job so far of protecting their logistics convoy. Although that will mean that the people guarding it won't have seen contact at this time.
The southern forces here getting pretty close to each other, are getting closer. Close to it now. Yeah, now they're within 50 meters in some cases. This is going to be Sunny and Sinful Groove leading Xbit and the remainder of his squad that hasn't been gunned down on the ridgeline up here, straight into the MRAP security squad being led by Crispy. MRAP is trying to get up this hill. Xbit is still maneuvering some of his folks. It looks like he's stopped. Maybe he's trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, they
yes,
know, yeah,
and over here it seems that U.S. Squad 3 has taken up a defensive location in a compound. And just directly south of them on their actual MSR is a mine and IED. So it seems as if the U.S. forces have cleared completely around the road that is mined. So if they don't start getting some infantry to start clearing that road, the convoy could potentially... Oh, an explosion up in the mountain.
Sinful misses. He was trying to shoot a moving target and was anticipating the target to stop, and it didn't. AR engaging him at distance here. The gunner is still in this thing. That's amazing. That Sinful gets out with his life, but
we have Stormfront in his compound with his squad engaging that INS squad that tried to pull back off the ridgeline at this time.
MRAP's going after Sinful here because, you know, rockets are important units to take out. Although surely they have no AT.
Oh, Frag goes out and takes out the medic Little Charlie for Stormfront. Secondary Frag almost takes out the squad lead. We currently have a 3-man INS element creeping up onto this U.S. Defensive compound. Let's see how the INS take this. Oh, frag out from the U.S. forces. Just a little too far over this leading assaulter. Deadbeat Dad is just inches away from the INS, from U.S. squad lead Stormfront. All he has to do is peek that corner, and he'll see at least 2 U.S. forces staring right back at him.
Some more casualties up here from Xbit's squad. The MRAP in the lead formation, able to take a couple out up here. They're sort of floundering about. I think they believe they're cut off. Xbit running in the open like a boss, gets destroyed by the other MRAP.
Oh, Deadbeat Dad peeks the corner and he takes out 2 people. He takes out the U.S. squad lead Stormfront as well as Retro, the automatic rifleman.
Frickin' rip Xbit, you got destroyed by MRAP. That's gotta hurt. Another rocket from Sinful here, probably not effective, but definitely draws the MRAP's attention. Sunny and Sinful are just waiting for enemies to get up on them, because all they're about useful at this point now is riflemen. And actually, X5 Polish is He's reverse slope prone. Oh, the gunner gets taken out of the MRAP. That was Arcus. Sonny taking some pot shots at the driver. Lord Chonka is all by himself. Driving, he doesn't know his gunner's dead. Well, I wonder if he's just going to hit F2 here and get in the gunner seat. And then get destroyed.
Alright, 1, 3, and 5, you guys are basically going to be one large element. You're going to be flanking them from their northwest, right?
Hold.
Oh, no.
He's right in front of me,
Crispy coming through. Looks like he's going to try to get in.
Reloading.
Maybe. He's going to get in the gunner seat here. Sinful taking some pot shots at him, and Sonny is doing the same. Ooh, a frag.
And the U.S. forces have made a phenomenal push on the northern side of the map. They have completely eliminated all of the INS forces except for a lone person, RAF, still next to the U.S. held compound at this time.
Yeah, and I think Crispy has realized that MRAP is being an annoyance at this point to one person. The second US MRAP has a great position here with about 40-50 meters of elevation.
135, I don't see any contacts on that hill above you.
Is shooting into the village surrounding Bridge 3.
Has the U.S. forces spotted the secondary mines in between the bridges at this time yet, or is their infantry still neglected to clear the road?
Something tells me U.S. haven't even made an attempt to clear the road in between the bridges. Something tells me. Now, they have, to their credit, they have kept the Lodges back. They haven't made, they've had zero movement forward in the past 20 minutes here. Just a little recap here. We're about halfway done with this round, I believe. 20 kills for US and 14 kills for INS. It's about half a squad's worth of difference here, but with the amount of folks remaining, still plenty. The MRAP now shooting at the school building.
I do like the style of play that the INS command has chosen to use his mines in, that each mine they've put down, there's been a secondary IED hidden in the area to act as a secondary blast device. So once again, if the US get focused on clearing that mine and they don't notice the IED hidden off to the side, it can do massive casualties to the US forces.
Yeah, and there's still 3 scouts up for INS, so definitely going to see some definitely potential for the IEDs to get blown here, because you got to be alive to hit the button on the detonator or dial the cell phone number or whatever it is, and it's the cell phone. MRAPs now moving south. They want to get even higher on this ridge line. Why? Why are we trying to scale the mountain? They're going to hit the map boundary.
The U.S. forces seem to be mustering their infantry on the northern side of the map. They seem to have at least 2 full squads of infantry left alive, plus the MRAPs and logistic trucks. Bcarr, how much INS do you believe we have left?
We're looking at 2.5 squads, I think, or it's got to be less than that. The MRAPs are still engaging here, the village around Bridge 3. There's a half a squad plus in that village, and there seems to be a squad and a half in the school building, and they are in lockdown mode. They are looking out of windows. They are looking at entrances. They even have a guy in the minaret, I'm pretty sure.
Do the INS have any of their original squad leads remaining, or is it all down to fire team leads at this point?
Let's see.
200 meters from our location.
Alright, I'm gonna do a little something called stirring the hornet's nest. I'm gonna start shooting some rounds.
At this time, I'm pretty sure we're down to FTLs running squads for INS.
Yeah, and for the US, they still have their command up, and they have one original squad lead, but the other 3 squads are being currently led by fire team leads.
Cam, you okay?
The battle spacing right now for US is atrocious. One frag rocket or frag grenade would eliminate basically half of the remaining assets they have. As the
And
US
it's not like
forces
they're
just
hiding.
start putting rounds downrange.
Yeah, look at them. They're shooting from a. They probably think they have a superior. Look at who's running in the middle of the road here. Bag of Joe and Dr. Stalker. Bag of Joe's command element right now, for crying out loud, is getting some covering fire, and he's moved about a good 50 meters away from the rest of the infantry element for US. They want to. He's going to clear buildings right now. He's running up. I think they must have seen the INS soldier that's in here. Vindication. Ooh.
I think. Hold on.
Bag of Joe. I guess this is forward element. Who's behind?
Fuck, I don't want to waste a grenade. I really don't know.
There's a bunch of folks still behind. I wonder if they even have squad comms for anyone. Red smoke.
No.
Okay, there's
Yep, Bag of Joe actually has audio on Vindication. He underhands the frag, it lands in the compound, but Vindication pulls out just in the nick of time.
I think Dr. Stalker got some shots at him. Bag of Joe charging in like a boss, looking the wrong direction like a dummy, gets shot in the back by Vindication. And Vindication switching to frag. He's going to throw one over, see what he
looks
gets.
like a good frag
Stalker
grenade.
up.
Rolls down the hill. Oh, it got him.
No. Stalker tried to underhand a grenade over the wall, and it bounced right back at him. So the grenades are dangerous, people. If you right click them, you gotta aim high enough over the wall.
This is 3 reporting in. Apparently all the 2 Lodges standing by.
US now taking this opportunity to push forward here. 3 people. Looks like they have 9 people here, so it's a full squad, but they're probably a fragmented element. So 3 teams of 3 pushing, 1 covering, 1 moving to clear a compound, another one is pushing towards Vindication, where his oversight would be.
Squad 1, before you get much through, we need to clear this bridge, okay?
I think Vindication's just scared. He's not even looking at these. He doesn't even have visual on these guys.
Moving north, left to right. He just moved in.
And he would barely have visual anyway because of the way that they're moving. Most of them are crouch running,
Just north of school. Yep.
except for Matt Bob, who is standing up because he's an officer now.
Aim your shots a little bit higher, just as a frame of reference. He's still in there.
So Vindication not looking the right way. I imagine he thinks he's going to get attacked.
And the U.S. forces have actually a really good firing position from on top of the South Hill. They are currently engaging the remainder of the INS forces hunkered down inside the compounds.
Jacko 800 takes down the 4th U.S. Infantry Squad's link of command, Danny Boy. Or what is that, 3 in? So it's like Danny Boy. He's got it covered. So Jacko 800 now sees U.S. people trying to come around. 1 goes down, splitting the U.S. element up.
From where? Call it out so we can provide cover with the MRAP.
South. He's already dead over here. Kron, so there.
Oh, U.S. forces currently engaging friendly forces. We have blue on blue fire from on top of their firing position on the South Hill.
So yeah, contact is between squad 1 and squad 5. Over.
Hill's in the way.
The push is falling apart here for US, which is kind of sort of what happens on this map. In this operation, it seems like the US just have to keep the aggression up, and US aggression has not been kept up. The MRAPs are in the wrong place. They're up on top of a hill. They're dealing with trying to navigate like super hilly ridge lines they shouldn't even be on, and they let a squad die in the middle of the open. And the remainder, this is the squad I believe that was opening up on the guys in the ridge line, or at least part of it anyway. And they're finally getting into the thick of it, and they're just getting cut down by trying to advance into a prepared position, which is kind of the point. You have to assault a prepared position, and that ain't easy. Jacko
US
800
Command
still
making
keeping
his way
visual here.
down the hill, trying to call out fire targets for that MRAP.
Oh, Hamdog, I think, is throwing smokes to try to get his rest of his element across. Smoke's out now. That's not really going to help. I think Jack just threw a grenade. Hamdog's dead. What a throw. Sippy Cola. Sippy Cola's still over there. He's bandaging. He survives. Jacko 800. Oh, U.S. forces are able to get through. At least, Hamdog did one good thing before he died, which was throw a proper smoke, which is, forward, covers more of the area that you're going to be moving in that the enemy won't be able to see. The forward smoke definitely allowed the rest of that U.S. force to get across the road here. Jack realizes he's been bamboozled and starts crawling away.
We just lost 2 people trying to do that, but try again.
I'm sorry, Jacko 800. If only you could see through smoke.
Let's not meet right there.
Vindication, still over here by himself for some reason. U.S. forces now moving along Vindication starting to reposition here. I wonder if he's going to start looking to his right here. Yeah. No. Why are you going He's a medic. I wonder what he's thinking right now. I have an AMD 65 and I have to engage an entire squad by myself. Loopy thoughts.
2. How many dismounts do you have?
And once again, we are in a holding position here for the remainder of this U.S. force. These 6 guys.
One of the really good things, though, with the U.S. on top of that hill with the 2 MRAPs is they are keeping the remaining INS forces hunkered down inside the compounds. The INS are scared to peek out the windows because every time they peek, they get lit up from those 2 MRAPs providing fire superiority for the U.S. team.
Okay, you don't need to shoot the wall. It's just ride covering. It's cover.
Looks like you have 6 people, so I need your
Smoke's coming out here from the infantry element in the field. Something tells me they're going to advance. They're going to advance into the compound where the 3rd bridge is and try to clear it. Yep, here we go. Matt Bob is calling it. They got an MG in support, and here they go. Vindication's dead. Half the element ARs, they're providing support fire. Half the element rifles, they're walking up. Jacko 800 still out of position.
He's currently engaging that U.S. OP on top of that hill, though. He's trying to keep their heads down.
He's called attention to himself. So I wonder if Matt Bob will turn his attention over that direction. Fidelis definitely hears it. He's going after it. I think he sees him. Fidelis now it's down turned away. No, he goes prone. I wonder. No, he's not looking that direction. He's scanning for where that fire is coming from. Matt Bob trying to get some aggression here. Matt Bob gets cut down from behind.
Fuck up.
He gets cut down by the INS forces that are across the road to the south. Fidelis and Clay J now by themselves.
Copy that 3.
We're getting down to it here. Not counting the MRAPs, I think there's 8 infantry now moving around. Fidelis crawling across, gets spotted. He's trying to move. He's trying to shake. He gets across. Jacko 800 leaves his auto on and can't semi-fire to save his life, and he gets killed for it.
If we pull back to these logistics trucks, they've actually just pulled up about 2 meters shy of where the IED is hidden in this bush. And another 20 meters down the road, there is a mine. They don't seem to be clearing. They're just pulling security. So it's going to be very interesting to see if they spot that mine in time or not.
Let's see if I'm gonna check and see if there's scouts alive still. Airborne's alive. Double D still alive. And JP is alive. So yeah, 3 scouts. So I wonder whose IED that is. And does INS have enough information to, see that position, which they don't. The ground forces, the security for the vehicles have now moved into the southern compound. Crispy gets 1 with a frag. 2 more. It's X5 Polish and TYTY. I think that's overthrown US frag there. X5 Polish coming outside. 1 gets X5 Polish trades. Unsure who that was. Muffy and Phoenix now taking on 1 of the compound.
Hey, I need you to look at the building that I'm in right now, that I'm next to. There's one times enemy in there. Or so I think. Okay, so just peek.
This is the last INS holding the compounds next to the 3rd bridge.
Hey, Clay.
Clay J trying to shoot. He's shooting at the thing. Murphy.
And
Murphy
down
gets 1.
goes TYTY from Mr. Murphy. Some excellent compound clearing from the U.S. command.
Now let's see if Murphy can bandage. Can he do it? Can he do it? Oh, yeah. And now they're going to spend about 30 seconds deliberating. Oh, do we clear this compound? Before they move in.
Negative.
US still pulling ahead here. 28 kills to INS's 20. Of course, this not going to count the suicide, and I believe there was a TK blue on blue for US earlier. So the gap seems to be 6. Oh, they've ditched the Logis. The Logi drivers are now meeting up with command here as they push for the third bridge village.
Clay J trying to go and actually dig the 2 mines on the bridge. He's asking for some people to be able to put some covering fire down if he's engaged. And he's on the bridge, shovel out, and he's currently digging down 1 of the mines. Do any INS forces have eyes on his position? I don't think so.
Nope. All the remaining INS forces are inside.
Yeah, I think those MRAPs did an awesome job of keeping the INS hunkered down and not looking out the windows.
Squad 4, the mines are gone. Squad 4,
and 2 mines are gone.
Yep, looks like we've got 4, 6, 8, 9 INS remaining. The MRAPs are moving up.
And I believe 14 US soldiers and 2 times MRAPs still alive. And Clay J has found the secondary blast device, the IED, and he is currently undigging it.
I'm digging the IED.
Clay J with some eagle eyes, spotting 2 mines and an IED. Good work, Clay J.
MRAPs, what can you see?
It's always a risky thing because, you know, I mean, obviously at this point in the operation, maybe its scouts are just dead and they're never going to blow up. Obviously, you want to take care of them, but that scout could blow you up as soon as you move into it. U.S. forces infantry are now setting up on the hill directly across from the bridge. They're not moving to go get the lodges. The lodges are staying still.
It's a good call from U.S. Command to muster your forces and either take the objective or die trying, because once the objective's taken, you can always go back and get the lodges. Whereas if you push in with less forces and they all die except for the 2 lodge drivers, then you won't be able to actually complete your primary objective.
Yeah, I think at this point I cannibalized one of the drivers for one of the MRAPs. It's 9 infantry against 9 defenders, plus 2 MRAPs, each with a driver and a gunner. And one of the MRAPs moving a little bit further to the east, trying to get different eyes.
Wait, what happened to the last driver?
U.S. Command actually just gave the order to 2 of his riflemen to go back and retrieve the logistics truck. So now we must follow and see if they spot this mine on the way back or on the way to command.
Ruh-roh.
We got Mr. Muffin and Fidelis.
Dude, I want to get on this side of this wall.
Oh, ruh-roh. That could be bad news. And for some reason, all the U.S. are just hanging out by this door, the door frame here, the opening. Hey man, do you have a cool MRA you want to trade? You got cheese sauce and jalapenos? Oh shit, we just got ordered to leave. Okay, bye. You better save those. You better save the cheese and jalapenos. Keep charms out of this element.
I need you to have eyes on the. I need you to have eyes on the school. And the
U.S. trying to get eyes on school now. INS. They might as well just be spinning in place for as much as good as their eyes west are at this point.
One of the things I don't like what the INS command has chosen to do is very, very early into the contact, he pulled off all his forces from the North Hill. That basically eliminating any possibility of flanking or setting up a crossfire onto these U.S. forces. Once he moved them off, they're basically turtling inside a defensive compound.
Well,
and
you know what?
the US roam free.
There is one specific thing inside this compound as the MRAPs begin to engage it. I'm going to try to find it. There's a little collection of explosives that in this game we call an IED, and it's placed inside the school compound. And I'm pretty sure the scout is not in that compound. It's to the next one over, and they're just waiting to blow it. So I wonder if they're going to try to draw in some U.S. forces here before they pop it.
Well, it looks like the final firefight is about to pop off. U.S. Command leading the remaining infantry in a firing line formation. They have nice battle spacing, and they're pushing up onto the compound. Let's see if the INS defenders can hold off this impending attack.
And they should be hearing people right now, and no one is looking in a direction that would be helpful. They're all covering entrances. Some shots at the back there.
Yes, Atomic Peace kills 1 defender outside the compound. U.S. Command stacking on the wall, preparing to engage.
Underhand grenade throws. Too far? Nope. Genera goes down. Genera goes down, and Atomic Peach has to bandage. Partisan tries to peek the corner. Runs away. Bandages. Oh, no. Clay J goes down to a grenade.
And
Phoenix just
gets
walks right in.
inside. Puts the radio down.
I'm gonna peek this door.
I'm gonna push up a little bit more.
Careful, right side, right side.
Tell the lodges to supply.
Contact down.
One case.
INS Command goes down We have Partisans goes in and clears him out with a pistol.
I got one. I think I got the squad leader as well.
Someone please tell the ledge drivers to supply.
And it looks like the U.S. Logic drivers actually spotted that mine just in time, and it's currently being undug by Mr. Muffin. And
Artisan
there
and
goes the
Phoenix
final
still
mine.
hunting. 3 INS inside the compound remain. We are airborne as a scout. So I wonder if that IED is in there is his. Spaceman and Cynic also in there, and looks like Revy, Double D, and this is Bot Rich. No. Peach destroys them and gets destroyed in turn. More INS down. There's still 2 INS in the school compound. Phoenix moving through. Sebi Cola. Oh, Phoenix. Phoenix goes behind there. Now I think we're down to 2 INS remaining. Nope, no, we're not.
4, 5, 6, like 8 of us left, just so you know.
Looks like 8 US against 1 INS.
They're on the right side waiting for me.
Last one is Bot Rich. Hot off his days as a Counter-Strike bot. He is returned. And he's trying to make a name for himself in squad here. The Lodgies have made it across Bridge 3. And I have to imagine they're going to be abandoned here. They're dumping supplies.
MRAPs, I need you looking at bridge. So squad 2 SL, I want you moving your vehicle.
And Phoenix is showing a textbook what to do after an assaulting an objective. He's rallying his forces, doing an ammo, weapons check, men check, and then he's assigning defensive positions for the remaining forces to set up.
He's got 1 MRAP right in front of the school building just to cover the adjacent compound. And he's got 1 looking at the bridge. And looks like the last INS guy here is going to try to move her out.
Hey, Phoenix, are there any mines along this path up into the compound? Okay, I'm going to clear.
Phoenix just moving straight up.
Just walking around.
Okay,
He's got cover. And he stands up now. Bot Rich being sneaky. 3, 4, 5 laying down the what? Oh, he spotted the guy. I think he spotted. Yep. Phoenix.
And Command takes out the final person. And that is round 1 in the books. U.S. Command showing a textbook assaulting a defensive position. Really good job from the U.S. forces that round.
Oh, 4 kills. Dang.
Well done, guys.
All right, so that's round 1. We're going to switch sides here and come back with round 2. But first, we're going to take a break. So about 5 minutes away from starting round 2 here.
That was quality part design.
Actually, I'll tell you after.
The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course was created to ensure Squad Ops participants share the same knowledge and understanding of the use and applications of mission-specific weapons and the basic tactics involved in their deployment. The Automatic Rifleman. The Automatic Rifleman is the foundation of a fire team and/or squad. The job of the Automatic Rifleman is to deliver a high volume of prolonged, effective suppressing fire on enemy positions to allow the maneuver of friendly units during offensive operations and the repelling of enemy attacks in defensive operations. The Grenadier, a key member of the fire team and squad. The Grenadier is first and foremost a rifleman. who is capable of delivering accurate fire of both high explosive and smoke rounds on point and area targets at varying distances. One of the other added benefits of the Grenadier is to engage dead space, which is essentially an area that cannot be hit by direct fires. The light anti-tank gunner. Soldiers carrying light anti-tank weapons are, just as Grenadiers, riflemen first. They are the ideal infantry-based counter to both lightly armored and thin-skinned vehicles. At short, medium, and far distances, the rockets fired are a viable weapon against groups of infantry as well. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course, although not a requirement, is highly encouraged for Squad Ops participants to join to expand their knowledge of how to utilize the tools that are given to us within Squad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out to SOTT Basic. I'm your instructor today, Hammering Hutch. You guys can simply just call me Hutch. When we are suppressing an enemy target, the whole intent of this is to keep the enemy's head down so an adjacent unit can maneuver onto them. During this process, we have a thing that happens automatically and organically, whether it be with buddy teams or fire teams. The whole intent is to ensure there's no lull in the gunfire, thus talking guns. Open fire. Contact front. Alpha, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Bravo, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. All right, Bravo set. Alpha up. He sees me. I'm down. You're now in what is known as a file. You're now in what is known as a staggered column, and usually used when on patrol or when moving from one location to another where contact is imminent. And these are a few of the basic formations that we use during Squad Ops.
All right, we're coming back for round 2 here. Operation Vanguard Squad Ops 1 live event. Once again, this is our open op, so we have brand new people contributing to the cause. Round 1. I kind of doubted US's commitment to the push there for quite a bit, and they were able to pull out in the end. The MRAPs that I thought were in the wrong position turned out to be in a great position. Shows how much I know. I'm Bcarr. With me is Jack, co-commentator for tonight.
How's it going, everybody?
Shadowed Ritual on the buttons in the background, talking in our ears, telling us how cool we are, all that jazz. Everyone in chat say Shadowed is the best. Push one if you agree. There's memes. Looks like we got a platoon brief here, Foreman, for US. Let's see if we can sort of jump onto the plan here. For a hero in command of US this round. Looks like we're still almost organized. Of course, this is a convoy. US convoy moving out.
Are you shaking your head?
Look at this. Look at this line of post.
Sorry about that.
We'll talk more about the specifics of this operation in a second. But ooh, and I got pushed below the map.
Everybody here looks very.
Don't
There we
worry,
go.
I think the latest is 19.
And I believe Hero will be addressing his soldiers
Everybody here is very
very
pretty.
shortly.
And win or lose,
Because I'm
I'm better than each and every one of you.
Comms, guys,
Alright guys, good job last round. Didn't really go as planned, but you know, we did our best. They used the advantage of the MRAPs to stay at a distance, pick us off, which is exactly what we're going to do this round. We're going to take a slower approach and do the same thing. So, Squad 1, which is Nate, he's going to be taking an MRAP on one of the two marks that is northeast of us, up on top of that hill. Nate is going to move his squad along the riverbed, and he's going to follow the riverbed as far as possible. Expert squad is going to do something similar. His MRAP will stay on that top hill along with Nate's, except for he's going to push to the opposite side, or to the west side of the hill, and is going to move completely around it to get in some sort of flank. And we'll go from there. Shokart's squad is going to be on the other MRAP mark, that is on the east side, next to the marksman spots. His squad will get a vantage point up there, and we're going to take a slow approach as well, so both MRAPs will be able to cover each other from the opposite sides of the hills. HML squad is going to move along, it's going to be responsible for route clearance. They're going to move along the main route, clear IEDs and mines, and we're going to push the main route. They'll also be responsible for the lodges. Does anybody have any questions? Alright. Let's get ready for live. Alright, we're ready, Lily.
Yar.
Alright, guys, remember, this man's proud of you. And he loves you.
I have a question. What was that plan? They're gonna throw people way north outside of the ridge line. I'm pretty sure I heard that correctly.
The only thing I could think that he's trying to do with that is trying to keep his team hidden for as long as possible by flanking around the mountain, getting in defilade from where the INS would be able to see.
Let's go ahead and get your guys. You guys, Nate, Shukart, next week, go ahead and get whoever you're wanting.
That's an interesting situation. Anyway, for round 2, we've switched teams. So now Hero is running US, and Phoenix is running INS. As we see a body ragdoll in US spawn. Yes.
And underneath Hero on the US side, we have squad leading for Hero. We have Nasty Nate, HML, Xbit, and Sighart. And then for Phoenix on the INS side, we have Stormfront, It's Crispy, Creeping, and Dashby.
And just like last time, the US, now that we switched teams, the US are going to do the exact same thing the US tried to do last round. They're going to try to push the convoy all the way to the village. And once they get there, they put a radio down. And they set up some defenses and wipe out the rest of the insurgent forces in the area. Now, there are some bridges between where they're starting here at this forward point and the village. And these bridges are going to be booby-trapped with various AT mine IED combinations. And INS are basically done this to try to stop the U.S. from rolling a convoy through. The U.S. convoy is 3 open top MRAPs and 2 Logis. U.S. squads are 2 LMGs, 1 LAT, 1 medic per squad. And they also have 2 MMGs and 2 breacher kits to distribute amongst the platoon. Once again, if you're not familiar, breacher kits are one of those cool squad ops additions to the game where they have a nifty thing called a satchel charge, and it's time. 20-second timer, and it goes up just like an IED. Don't have to worry about pushing a button. Lots of communication going on right now in U.S. main. Trying to figure out how to get in a single file line, you know, things like that. Very,
as the
very
INS
important
are currently
formations.
setting up the booby traps on top of the bridges. Currently digging down one of the mines, and let's see if they put a secondary IED to act as a secondary blast somewhere on this bridge.
Yeah, we didn't see that play out in round 1 because I think the distance or the way that everything sort of developed, there was no one watching the front bridge. There's no one watching bridge 2, and everyone was watching bridge 3, and they all died early.
There's 2 reasons for that, Bcarr, that I believe. The first is the INS completely pulled off of the North Hills. About 10 minutes into the firefight, they pulled back to the compound and they gave up the North Hill. And then the second reason is the MRAPs just took over the southern hills of the compound, and there was just no room for any INS soldiers to get eyes out onto the bridges. They would have been killed instantly by the MRAPs in their 50 cals.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think that there could have been, you know, Xbit had, you know, another 50 meters on, or I don't know. He still had some more elevation. He could have had a scout with him, and Xbit could have been able to, in the position that Xbit was in last round, which is the ridge line over here, or actually it's the ridge line behind that, actually. He had plenty of visibility, just the coordination wasn't there, which is disappointing, I guess. And it's probably the reason why that it probably is because his element's way far away from the action. He's up in the ridge. He wants to fight the MRAPs because the MRAPs are definitely going to go off road be kind of weird for them if they didn't go off road, because there's just this huge opportunity to get some elevation on the rest of the enemy forces in the area. And speaking of those forces, INS, just a reminder of what they have to work with this time. INS squads are 2 ARs, 1 LAT, 1 medic per squad. And they get 4 scouts on the platoon level, which can be divvied up at the commander's discretion. And that's it. So 4 mines, 4 IEDs, as well as 4 AT rockets to try to take out 5 vehicles. Or really, all you need to do is take out. You really need to focus on taking out 3, because the Lodgies can't shoot back. And this is an odd way to start out. Usually everything would be like lined up in the column for the convoy. And 2 vehicles are looking north. So the US are going to throw some open top MRAPs to the northern ridge here instead of the southern ridge. And also Expet is I think he's gunning.
Do you know how mines work?
No, he's driving.
So you know how to destroy them?
We have a live time here. About a minute and a half, just shy of a minute and a quarter away. What do you think of trying to put the MRAPs on the northern ridge, Jack? Jack can't answer me right now, but I imagine he would say something like, "It's just like the U.S. did last time. It's a great idea. Elevation, shooting down from above, friggin' shooting guns everywhere." Except for he wouldn't say anything like that, because yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Yes. And the inevitable person in the chat room points out that these are not MRAPs, they're MAT-Vs. How does the whole gaming community not get this? Because the gaming community's developers have called them the wrong thing. 10 out of 10. And we just got used to calling them MRAPs. And we're live. And 2 MRAPs going up north. 1 moving ahead of the Lodgies. Oh, that's a lot of infantry moving straight through the straight along the road.
Yeah,
Looks
so
like
I
a
actually
squad and a half.
talked to the INS commander before about what his plan was for today's round, and he basically explained to me that he had planned to set up a boxed perimeter around the compound, push his forces out as far as possible, and then fight a delaying engagement. So what that means is he would continue to engage and just pull his forces back piece by piece, bounding in either fire teams, buddy teams, just delaying the U.S. for as long as possible to allow his other squads to maneuver on top of them.
Makes sense. It's one of those things that isn't really, I don't know if it's done or not per se, but it's probably not expressly done in as far as a strategy in squad ops operations, to intentionally set up a screening defense or a fallback defense play, but do it in such a wide area way. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things it's probably not commonly done. You might think, I think it's more commonly done just to think of elements individually moving back after they take contact just to preserve themselves, and then the other elements would add fire at that position. But the whole element moving back at the same time and coordinating that effort, that's one thing. The INS forces here beginning to move out, still about 600 meters away from contact at this point.
Yeah, so if you reference the map right now and we look at what the INS forces are setting up, you can see that they have a very nice spread and they have almost a three-pronged defense. One on the North Hill, one in the lowlands of the field with the river and the road, and one on the southern hills. And it's a really good defensive positions as they're able to all cover each other if one squad is engaged. For example, if Squad 4 gets engaged on the lowlands, Squad 2 and 3 for INS would also be able to provide covering fire over top of them.
Beside the road, 1193, there's enemy infantry contact. Next to that,
Being able to have multiple elements that can support each other is a great part of any plan. As US are now clearing Bridge 2. Digging a mine.
Another unique thing I see is the INS have chosen to put a IED in the compound that they held for a very long time as U.S. forces last time. So INS command structure recognizing the importance of these compounds and booby-trapping them. So let's see how that plays out later in the round.
I hope we get to see some explosions come from infantry, man. I was fully anticipating it the last time. All we got were lat rockets popping MRAPs.
And did any of them even hit?
Yeah. There was a direct hit on one. The other ones were misses. But INS definitely scored a direct hit on the MRAP last round. It was just sitting there. And then, yeah, you know, Sinful can't miss a target that's not moving. And if you miss a stationary target, you I don't think you play lat anymore until you get better with it.
Gotta go take that AWS course.
Preach AWS.
The best part about that, Bcarr, is Sinful is actually one of my trainees for SOTT, so he actually instructs people on how to use the advanced weapon systems.
It's almost like trying to teach people like how to range things without, you know how some optics in this game have that little I'm not sure exactly what the terminology is to describe it, but they have like a scale sort of reference that's in the scope that's alongside the main reticle system to help you range the firearm. As we see here, the convoy security MRAP is now moved to Bridge 2 and cleared it. The Lodgies are behind. There's also this little scale thing on the side. You're supposed to put a standing person sort of in there to help you measure, but sometimes you can't really you know, the RPG scopes, it's not really in there. Ooh, fire. The MRAPs, it gains you to range here.
Yeah, it looks like they have eyes on a couple of the INS forces down in the lowlands. They're currently engaging in the INS are just desperately trying to take cover. Oh, those beautiful AR tracer rounds bouncing off the hills. Just really good at calling out where you want the rest of your infantry to open fire on. You just yell in local, you know, fire on my tracers or have contact on my tracers. It's much easier to call out targets that way rather than trying to give a grid reference from this far away. And I believe they're actually engaging them from over 400, 500 meters.
And the MRAPs. I think there's a hold fire. The secondary MRAP is engaging some INS forces that made up here on the northern ridge. They, if there's the squad leader over here, probably has a good idea of what's going on, but I bet you he's going to be confused when he sees U.S. forces start going down the ridge to the north. he's gonna be like, "Well, wait, why, what? Why are they going up there? Why are they going away from their objective? Why? Why? Why?" The MRAP's totally pinned this element down, though. Just one MRAP. The other one is moving along.
Reloading! Alright, reload and hold fire.
Just ahead of us on the road.
Contact 064 at the end of the road.
A little bit of a lull here as INS holding their ground.
He's about 400 meters.
3 U.S. soldiers here pushed through.
To the right, little clump to the left at the end of this road.
And I think Silas is leading that element. Although I thought fire teams were 4 people. I wonder who forgot to run after them.
Elevate.
The MRAP is continuously trying to engage here.
One more elevation. Oh, Yo's tag. Yeah, keep it up. Suppress that entire ridge from 061 to 065. Slight suppression.
More fire here. The INS are now displacing too much effective fire on their position.
Yeah, we have Expit Squad currently suppressing its Crispy Squad on the INS on top of the ridgeline.
Too much effective fire. They stood in their places for too long and let themselves get spotted. And the MRAPs were able to put effective fire on that position, and the ARs opened up afterwards. The guy is just doing 360 spins as he moves down the hill. Like he's trying, he must be like looking around, trying to figure out what's going on. And he's just moving his mouse in the right direction, just keep swinging himself right. It seems like half squad plus now pulling themselves off the hill to the north. And Silas's forward fire team has made it all the way to the river. Never thought I'd say that in this operation. He's got X5 Polish and Wirus with him. 3 people all by themselves watching the river. God knows. I mean, obviously they want to push more people on the northern side. I wonder if this is like a catch-all and they're trying to just, they're eventually going to send more people to the north here. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about this is the INS are just giving up that hill so easily that the US are just gonna be undetested on getting that fire superiority onto the compound. As we saw last round, how valuable those hills are for maneuvering onto the actual compound. Because, as soon as you get those 50 cals raining bullets onto the compound, nobody wants to stick their head out the window. Nobody wants to look out the door. And that allows the US infantry to get right up on top of them without them really noticing till it's too late.
Crispy pushing his element forward here. I don't know if anyone on top of the hill sees him. It's a little close here, but if Binox started looking north, I imagine they'd see quite a bit of INS soldiers just moving along the top of this ridgeline here. U.S. Pushing along there's a road on top of this ridge, like a dirt path that's sort of worn into the top of the ridge line here. They're pushing in that direction. And there are just a handful of INS on top of the ridge line. I think they just got engaged. One of them's falling back, and there seems to be trafers overflying that. The U.S. forces still looking at the top of the ridgeline. They're not looking to their north. Silas's fire team on the river is now moving along the river bend. fighting fighting up the slope here. That's kind of weird.
The U.S. have a huge spread right now. They have forces all over the map. It's either gonna work really well for them, as they'll be able to have multiple different angles of fire, or it could backfire as they are spread pretty thin.
I'm watching 06 guys get 180 toward north.
30. Crispy Squad is. What is going on? There's no strategic value to this position, I don't think. They're just asking. I mean, they're asking to get shot at from an elevated position. Like, if a squad lead just looks in this direction, he's going to see 4 or 5 heads looking in his direction. All he's got to do is request MRAP to sort of reverse 50, 20 meters and look northeast. Silas's fire team, nice and quiet here. I bet you Silas sees him. Silas has to see him. Silas making some moves here. And it looks like they're either looking at the building here, or they're looking at this whole this whole element on the side of the hill here. No, Silas definitely sees them. Look at this. Silas engaging, or shot 1. Oh yeah, 1 kill. That's the RPG down for that element.
Yeah, Peanut just got dropped. 1 tap straight to the head from Silas.
And Silas trying to give him some tips of how to stay alive after, shooting and maneuvering. Crispy now pulling back to the east. Silas is trying to talk. I think he's trying to talk X5 Polish. Oh yeah, look, he's got him holding down the button. He's got him holding down the lean, so he sort of leans into the hill, and they're moving parallel to each other. Pretty much using the same tactic here. No, Crispy. No, Crispy takes shots at Silas. X5 Polish gets destroyed as he goes up the hill. Frags out, but not far enough.
WY Russ has been tagged. He's bandaging. Frags out. Frags going all over the place. Bullets flying. Silas is down. Tagged. Y Russ is down. AR Hub is wounded. He needs to find a medic. It's just Silas left against 8 INS forces.
I think Silas is bandaged twice now. He's not got much left in, and Lord Chanka's just running straight up to him. He's gonna shoot him in the. Oh no, Silas looked. I think yeah, Lord Chanka's bandaging. What a reaction there from Silas.
Drag out onto Silas, and it takes him out from Lord Chanka.
But he was able to get another kill. Looks like he took out Crispy.
Oh, I didn't even realize the
what?
Their second fire team on top of Crispy, and
when did these guys get here?
Casualties.
So maybe that was the plan all along. The entire element's gone.
Oh, 1 person left in that element is Sergeant _J_C.
Oh.
Sonny's fire team just dealt massive casualties to Crispy Squad.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess you trade 1 for the whole squad. Pretty much. You trade a fire team for a squad. I guess you make that. It's kind of disappointing. I mean, it was an awesome sort of maneuver, but I don't know. It just seemed weird. It seemed weird to see Silas go all the way over the river in this map, especially in this operation. I mean, if going north and going out of your way is the new cool thing, I'm taking my entire platoon to radio tower and then attacking from there. Make my guys run like 3 kilometers before we start attacking the objective village. Sergeant JC, probably scared for his life. Is going to take a second to realize he is all alone and has no commands or no comms back to command.
Just that was a absolute massacre there. They got complete tunnel vision on eliminating the 3-man element in the riverbank. That nobody was looking up the hill, where one man, Sonny, actually killed 6 of the remaining 8 people that were there in Sergeant J's squad.
Wow, Sonny on 6 kills. That's amazing.
Yep, and the U.S. have done their job, and they're pulling back, and they're just gonna. There's no bother clearing out the bushes. They're just gonna leave Sergeant.
Handful of INS still on this hill. Very sneaky like.
Alright guys, set up. I want us not focusing north anymore. We're focusing close southeast.
Ooh, they get the elements just moved back up here on the ridge line. They're pretty close to an AR gunner that's just sit up here doing nothing. I wonder if he must be looking at something. He's probably going to start engaging here shortly.
We got squad lead Exfit rolling the MRAP up to regroup with his remaining fire team. Oh, and a push.
Drops one.
Yeah.
Dimix trades a MMG for himself, and he gets a frag for it too. Two frags.
Yeah.
So, hey, I mean, hey, you got an MMG, so that's worth. I think his squad lead's going to throw another frag. You don't have to throw it. You just press one and it goes away. You can't.
We have
you
a
don't pick
INS
Nathan's
buddy
squad.
team of Little Bump and Bybee, basically to the north of Expit's element, and Sergeant JC, who we last saw, the remnants of Crispy Squad. That is all the INS forces left on the north side of the map. The US basically have complete superiority over the northern hills at this time.
Going back to the southern hills, the MRAP is dead. And an entire squad is just hanging out on this plateau, and they're getting rushed by a fire team's worth of INS to their immediate south. They see them, though. Revy goes down. I think he was holding rear security. There's AR fire coming in from their southeast. Seems to have an elevated position, and MMG is trying to fire back.
Hamdog about to sneak up on the U.S. squad lead Sughart on top of that hill. My question is, what actually took out that MRAP, and how far away was the LAT?
I don't know.
Because that's a pretty impressive last shot, because that's from the closest
Guaranteed.
INS element is over 400 meters away.
Yeah, guaranteed that it was the stationary target, so... Sughart running up on Hamdog here.
Both
Rip.
squad leads creeping for the INS and Sughart for America just went down. So now fire team leads are scrambling to take over the remaining elements, and Hamdog walking up on a full US squad. He takes one down and gets dropped. That's a good effort from Hamdog there on the INS. We do have a few more INS people up on that hill. We have Sebi Cola and Dr. Compton who are in flanking positions, and it just really depends if the U.S. forces, who have no battle spacing at this time, decide to set up a perimeter and get some defensive positions assigned.
Chaco 800 and Vindication moving in that direction, trying to sweep around a little bit west of the hill that the U.S. are just hanging out on. INS still holding pretty snug here. Ooh, is that what was that? Is that a rocket that missed?
A heat rocket. They fired a heat rocket, which did no damage
What?
to the infantry around it. And he gets taken out after firing the heat rocket. Had that been a frag rocket, I guarantee at least,
been at least
three
three.
casualties. At least 3, maybe 4.
Who was that? Who was that? Was that Sebi?
No, Sebi wasn't the lap, but he just got flanked and taken out.
Oh, the MRAP's firing on friendlies. Gets real close to hitting Jack. The MRAP is still shooting on friendlies. MRAP is still shooting on friendlies. All right, the MRAP has ceased fire now.
INS Command actually leading this little fire team of automatic riflemen, calling out the shots onto the U.S. forces stationary up on that hill.
There's a one INS guy seems to be pushing up pretty close here. He actually tried to take some shots at Chameleon here. That's UJ Key. UJ Key gets hit there, but I think he's able to trade a hit with Chameleon. No, Chameleon gets away scot-free. Maybe UJ Key was already previously injured. Gets up, he starts moving around. What are these guys doing up here? They need to get off this hill.
It just goes to show you how important the squad lead role is, because as soon as that squad lead goes down, the squad goes into chaos. No one knows what to do, and as you can see, the U.S. are just crawling around on top of the hill like little worms.
Chameleon able to put some tracers out, and now the ARs have locked on to where those tracers are at. There's 2 ARs and an MG over here.
That's beautiful fire superiority on top of these INS forces, just completely suppressing them and taking out 2 of them. All we have left on top of this hill is INS Command and Gooby.
And Phoenix definitely turning around and running. That would be smart.
Oh, and we have some blue-on-blue contact. We have the INS fire team lead actually taking out his squad lead, Nasty Nate. Oh, that is the U.S. team, excuse me.
That'll come up after the operation's over.
You know, sometimes when that squad lead's bossing you around, I guess the fire team lead wanted to take charge, and who knows? I guess we'll never find out, Bcarr.
Nah, I have a feeling E-Fang must have done it on accident. Uh, 18 kills for US here, 9 kills for INS. INS taking considerable losses here, 0 effect. Of course, that whole squad wipe in the north doesn't help. Questionable positioning here from the remainder of INS forces. There's this ditch that sort of runs along where the 3rd bridge is, closer to where the school building is in town. INS have decided to start using it as a trench.
So what's the current plan, so I can get them all filled in?
We're gonna hold here. We're still making a slow push.
They have the eyes on the northern U.S. forces, but this position can't be helpful to engage them. I guess they're waiting for them to push down the hill. Let's see if we can follow in where the squad lead is looking right now. He's definitely trying to look at the hilltops. He's trying to find people that are skylining. And his AR is getting in position, so maybe they're going to try to shoot some people here in a sec. This is Dash B, squad lead. Oh! And his AR just got destroyed from range from the southern hill. The U.S. position, I think that was Jacko 800 engaging from that range. He's looking this direction. Jacko 800 adding some fire. He's got a pretty good shot here, and everyone's gone prone, so all he's got to do is just keep peppering the top of this hill, and he's going to freak out a bunch of INS here. Jack engaging from, that's got to be at least 350, 400 meters away. Pretty accurate fire. INS so scared they're smoking. And by smoking, I mean adding smokes. They're going to run back to the village through the smokes they just popped. So they're falling back to the school building. INS still at 9 kills. Army at 20 now.
Yeah, and we got the other northern element now engaging in those contacts too, just completely set in a crossfire. They have no cover anywhere. They're just trying to use the smoke and just crawl back to hard cover.
Smoke signals work both ways. I mean, look at how many smokes they use. They use, what, it looks like 8 smokes.
I think that's actually looks like 12 or 15 smokes. They must have popped all the smokes in their assets, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe 12, maybe 13. That is nuts. Expit on the ridge here just is, he's got 1 MRAP with him, and the rest of his element is just adding fire the best they can. Jacko 800 is in the same position, raining down 450-meter shots here on his AR. And he's nearly on target. This is actually kind of ridiculous shot here. Just for reference, the blue dot in the upper left-hand corner of my view right now is Jacko 800. Whew. The bullets are just curving here to the point where these guys are having to duck behind the half wall to stay away from it. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, Jack hasn't moved, I don't think. And now he is. So the U.S. must have seen the good news that the INS have retreated, and the U.S. are beginning to push up now. And the whole reason they need to push up, the U.S. needs to push up, is they have to clear the convoy route. The trucks can't make the trips up the sides of these hills like these MRAPs can. They're trying to clear the route. The INS are trying to ambush them. And on each of these bridges along the route, there could be explosives that try to stop them. Matter of fact, on this bridge, I can see 1 mine here, 1 AT mine on the 3rd bridge, a clear AT mine, maybe some additional explosives. Yeah, there's definitely a IED in the compound directly adjacent to this bridge. It remains to be seen if we will actually see an explosion from an IED this round or in this mission today. I'm hoping for yes.
What I can say though is the U.S. this round have done a much better job of actually sticking to the convoy route and making sure it's clear. You know, we have HML squad over on US. He has his guys setting up a nice perimeter, watching 360 around the vehicles, and he has runners that are just constantly combing the road, looking for IEDs, mines, anything that will impede his convoy's progress to get to their mission objective. And as you just see over here, Vindication currently checking out the bushes, looking for any form of explosives that he needs to remove.
Vehicles taking some shots at the compound here. Kangaroo asking in chat, does anything other than a team wipe count as a win? In this operation, there are objectives that U.S. have to fulfill. They have to clear the bridges, get up to this village, which is Hanggu, and clear it at a fob, and they can take the 4th bridge and secure that one. Ultimately, all the INS have to be wiped out for the scenario to end in this particular operation. It's not always the case, especially in some of our campaign runs where the missions are more closely linked together for an entire sort of weekend plus of missions that sort of run together and have consequences from one mission to the next. Some of those missions end very fast, or they can end very fast depending on how quickly the objective is accomplished by the team. U.S. forces still keeping INS forces at bay. There's a buddy team behind the Northern Ridge guys, but I think they've been spotted.
U.S. making excellent progress on moving up towards the compound. Currently, there is command and a 2-man buddy team are the only INS forces not inside the defensive compound.
This is Lil Bump and Bybee able to get behind the U.S. element on the hill and to the north. I'm not quite sure what their thoughts are for doing this, and they're going the wrong way.
I wonder if HML can actually see INS command on top of that hill. He's that little red dot. You can see him skylining if I zoom in all the way. He's just up there playing for information and trying to relay that to his squad leads. There's not much else that INS command can do at this point.
Let's keep the MRAPs here on the hill. Let's have the infantry push down northeast to wrap around.
U.S. command beginning to issue assault orders, trying to figure out the best way to attack this group of buildings. MRAPs staying on the hill, infantry pushing across about 200 meters of bumpy terrain.
Hey, do you want us to walk down the riverbed and start heading our way to school?
No, get oversight.
They got this great hill in front of them, though. Along with the MRAPs, they definitely have.
Yeah, there's only sinful left.
This is probably the best draw into the village. A little recap here.
Is it fine if my guys stay up here and guard the entrance? Yeah.
There's 15 INS inside the village. Command for INS is on the southern hill. And there's a 2-man INS fire team behind the the U.S. forces on the northern ridge.
Command has audio on a fire team engaging his men in. Get eyes on and see if there's anything he can do to help his troops down in the village below.
He's currently low on ammo. He's got only a box and a half left.
Alright, tell him to ceasefire.
Yeah, odds are they won't be able to help. I mean, the position is too superior for U.S.
They have no 360 security. He could walk up, 1 frag and 1 magazine. That takes out that entire 5-man element. And if he
let's just hope he remembers to use the frag.
If he can eliminate these U.S. forces on the southern hill, that would be a huge advantage for his team, because he would no longer need to worry about the U.S. forces on the south, just the contacts on the north and down the MSR. So let's see how this plays out.
You want our moving up too?
Hero sending 1 MRAP along with about a half a squad ahead. He's also pushing in.
Double D goes down, but the command's been spotted. If he puts a frag over this hill, he's potential to kill at least 3 people. Frag out. Let's see where it goes. It's down onto Spaceman. Oh, just short. It wounds Spaceman, and they're returning the frags onto command.
Looks like it landed like right in front of like right in the middle of 3 people. in like the perfect way to not actually hurt anyone. Although there is some bandaging going on.
We're bringing the compounds at the bridge.
Spoke too soon. Hero's assault element is now taking shape. He's got an MRAP deployed a little bit closer to the river now, as on the bottom side of this hill on the ridge, and
Do we have
looks
any,
like he's got a fire team.
Do we have any update on that buddy team that flanked around the US MRAPs, Bcarr? Do we know where they are?
They're about 50, 60, 70 meters behind the MRAP that's been left behind.
Oh,
with
and
0
US
360
command
security.
just goes down. I mean, INS command just goes down. Excuse me, Phoenix. He put up a good fight, but 1v6ing is very, very hard when there's no cover.
I believe this is Lil Bump and Bybee. Yeah. Lil Bump has a great position here. He wants the back of that guy's head right there. He wants Central. Or he's not gunning. Central's not gunning. It's assault. These guys continue to move forward. The MRAP down the hill, repositioning. Maybe it's coming back up? No. I think they got a little freaked out, though.
Okay, we're with squad 5 now.
Uh-oh, and they're moving away for some reason.
Hey, we need to start conserving ammo. We're low on ARs and MGs.
Alright. 1, 3. Start moving to the compound. 2, start pushing up. Assault the compound.
The hero calling for execution of compound assault. Low Bump is just sitting here. I wonder how much longer he thinks he can try to line up this shot.
And Peach taking shots from that element onto the southern hill has to take cover. And that's what we talked about last round when the US put those MRAPs up on the southern hill and they just rained bullets down, just limiting the INS's ability to maneuver and just watch their entrances and exits. Let's see how that plays out for the US assault on the north side.
Lil Bump covering it so Bybee can get across. And now Lil Bump moving to the right side of the road. Ooh. And the vehicle's moving. He's probably going to regret taking too long to do this. Vehicle's now moving, or looks like a reposition. I wonder if it's going to be soon following the rest of the platoon down the hill. Although it makes more sense for him to stay up here.
There still is 2 full squads up for the INS side at this time. Oh, and Expert just gets dropped by Atomic Peach. What an amazing shot that was. One tapped him.
It was an IED explosion at the compound next to the 3rd bridge. I don't think it killed anyone. I could be wrong. But they set it off, so at least INS are thinking about making the most of an ambush. As Low Bump and Bybee still looks like they're trying to position for the decapitation scenario on this MRAP here.
They need to move. They are taking way too long up on that hill, and it's just allowing the U.S. forces to maneuver. U.S. command hero popping a frag into the compound.
Yeah, U.S.
Doesn't
pushing straight
actually
up to
get
the
anybody,
school building
but-
here.
Yeah, the assault is about to start.
And I was
Dashby
right.
return
Ethan.
fragging.
Excellent.
It lands right near HML. I mean, Vindication. Oh, and Vindication is down. Awesome frag from squad lead Dashby. Quick Scratch has to quickly bandage before he's taken out as well. US command slowly on the wall of the compound.
There we go.
Friendly forces to pull up.
Low Bump pops the gunner. Zentrin still in the driver's seat. Decides that it's time for him to leave. Backs up. For some reason. Assault goes down. There is a infantry guy over here. Who's this? The soldier Wolfie is moving to rendezvous with the MRAP question mark. And now
So
low
far, I
bump
see a
and
couple issues with the U.S. execution here. Is they're splitting up their forces to clear multiple compounds at once. That's something you don't want to do in this situation. You want to muster your forces and go compound by compound. But U.S. breached the first compound, and Dashby's buddy team goes down. It's just Dashby left in the compound.
someone in the U.S. formation is turned around looking at the where the MRAP was, and low bump and Bybee gets spotted by an AR gunner. Looks like low bump has to
Thermoplast
bandage
goes down to
here.
Dashby. Dashby making his final stand memorable.
Hey, frag out, frag out.
U.S. popping frags in. Dashby tags another one. Sinful needs to pull back. Bandage.
He's by the gazebo thing.
Yeah, I can't see him from here.
Hey, I see him. He's moving around.
I got a nade. I got a nade. Give me a sec.
Hey, watch.
Multiple U.S. forces trying to get Dashby out of this hitting corner, and frag out. Won't get him as he's in cover.
Dashby's got himself a nice corner here. Now there's a bunch coming through. Sunny able to
And Sunny takes him out.
go straight through with a little bit of violence of action. Just snaps right on Dashby's head and knocks it off. U.S. forces also taking the far eastern compound, making a little bit of progress. They're at least at the door now. 28 kills for
Freaks
U.S.
takes out
20
Raph
kills
as he
for
tries
INS.
to peek the door there. Deadbeat Dad is the last U.S. force on the southwesternmost compound, and Matt Bob is still in the minaret tower or the school tower. Let's see what kind of damage he can inflict to these 5 or 6 U.S. forces that just put down the radio.
Convoy is moving up here. Oh, crossing Bridge 3, and it was cleared. Both lodges make it in front of the. Oh, there's an RPG unit. Oh, it gets stuck. It looks like the. I think Jacko 800 on the ridge line.
No, Jacko 800 was just taken out inside the school compound.
Nope. It's part of Chameleon's team, but hey, INS able to get one rocket on one of the lodges. I wonder if they were able to get any of those supplies before this lodge is going to pop, which it will pop right about now. Meanwhile, Minaret cleared. Weapons dealer just YOLO'd. Full auto straight up the staircase.
Yeah, it's clear.
And now we're getting US blue on blue. The oh, Sunny dies. So Zentrin on the MRAP. Oof.
And it looks like Lil Bump and Bybee are sneaking up on the secondary MRAP, and they're about to take out Zentrin now. Let's see if they can line this shot up.
Lil Bump's a pretty good player. He's probably got this.
Yeah. And a beautiful one tap straight to the side of his head, and Zentrin is down, neutralizing the final MRAP.
Ain't it a shame vehicle stealing is turned off for this operation? Wouldn't that be turning quite the thing on its head? Vehicle stealing was enabled. Because INS could make a real go of it if they had MRAPs right about now.
We have
We're looking
about
at
7
6.
INS up, and about 13 US.
Bunch of INS off the point. U.S. forces just sporadically firing. I wonder if they are trying to take shots at. Yeah, Lil Bump and Bybee move off the ridge line with the MRAPs, and they're trying to move in to support their compounds. And the element on the south ridge was able to take some shots at them while they were maneuvering. Looks like we're down to 7 INS.
There are enemies in our in the compound to the north where I'm in.
Lil Bump using some cover, trying to hide himself from the southern element.
The only remaining squad lead for the INS is Stormfront at this time, and he's just trying to get information to relay to his rest of his units.
Here we go. U.S. forces pushing on Stormfront's location.
Don't worry about clearing compounds. We just gotta get you to that bridge.
U.S. forces pushing past. Who's that going in? Sunny
And
executes.
Soldier Wolfie
Storm.
takes Stormfront.
Oh, you're right. That is Soldier Wolfie. You know, spectator cam. I call the wrong thing so much when friggin' everyone's like trying to get.
We don't have good eyes on that compound.
Yeah, and
INS
the
down to
remaining
1.
The remaining 6 INS are just regrouping in this final compound outside the U.S. squad lead. Deadbeat Dad's just been holding his position for the last 5 minutes, hoping that he can get some reinforcements before pushing in, as he did lose 3 people trying to push into that compound.
He's holding the door. INS coming in from the northeast.
Yeah, we have Little Bump, Bybee, Freaks, Bag of Joe, Dr. Stalker, and Sessa as the remaining 6 INS.
Now, the U.S. forces that were pushing, that took out Storm, they pushed closer to the bridge. I wonder if they're looking for things to dig. They're looking up the, there's a HML is looking up the road to the bridge. I wonder if Little Bump is going to see him here. They're getting pretty close. HML is looking at the bridge like it's a thing he actually has to cross in this operation, which technically he does. He's looking for things to get out of there. What is that? TY running across.
They must clear the mine on the bridge. It's one of the mission objectives is to clear the final bridge.
HML watching TY on the bridge while Lil Bump is gonna pop HML or not. Shots going out as US attempt to infiltrate the compound that INS are now holding.
Someone's blueberry soldier Wolfie died in the compound direct southwest of my pause. Mine is completely neutralized. Check for an ID. Negative, hold on.
HML trying to do 2 things at once. TY comes back, and TY seems to have spotted an IED on one of the pillars. And it looks like he's moving out, if I heard that correctly. They're under the bridge. Oh, they might actually push directly behind Lil Bump here.
It has to be next to one of the pillars.
Yep. HML, if he could look up the hill right now, he might actually see Lil Bump. Lil Bump is not looking behind him. Now he kind of is. Oh, he sees him, but HML sees him first. Lil Bump goes down. And Bybee.
HML has to quickly bandage.
Bybee heard shots, but not able to find anything to engage. HML declares Bridge 4 cleared.
And
HML goes down. Bybee avenging his buddy there. TY. Bybee, you got him now, dude? Oh, a frag. That's gonna get TY.
I think they're down the ridge.
pop. So now I wonder. I think Bybee doesn't have a lot of confidence in his shot, which is obviously why he had that grenade. He didn't know TYTY was there. Wouldn't you know it, the event admins are unsatisfied with... no, I'm kidding. INS are supposed to hold the school. It's the main building in the town. And losing that position and not attempting to retake it is... It's a moral failure for INS here. So INS getting the slight reminder that their educational building must be reclaimed.
And we're down to the final four. We have Bybee, Dr. Stalker, Freaks, and Caesar. And Freaks taking contact from that element on top of the hill.
Bybee is running towards the compound to try to rejoin the remainder of the squad here.
The compound in...
Not shot on at all.
Yeah, just northeast of you guys.
Oh, until he gets to the barbed wire and the door entrance. But he's able to sneak in.
INS just trying to pop smoke and exfil from that compound to try and make a final push onto school.
The smokes where they're throwing they're not gonna help them. They need to exfil to the north instead of trying to move out this western exit here. It's just covered too much. Or it's covered too well, rather. And that's like 6 more smokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just a 7 with 1 went out.
The thing, though, that I disagree with the U.S. plan is they have the majority of the remaining forces 300 meters away on top of that hill. If these 4 INS could move quickly enough and push that compound, you know, 1 good frag and they've retaken
4v2. I mean, they're gonna have to rely on the southern element to call out the push. And
it's actually a 4v3 as Mr. Sprouse is in the watchtower, but he's just hiding. He's not looking. He's just prone. He has no vision. Won't be able to assist at all unless he stands up.
That's lame. Yeah, no one in the compound is looking at it or looking out of it, but they are looking at entrances. And there goes one down to AR fire.
Yeah, Cista goes down. If they just move quick enough and, like I said, get up against the walls here, they just need to get out of the range of the AR fire.
Should be a pretty decisive end here very shortly, unless a miracle happens and all the INS are able to get to the compound and clear it.
They're going to try and cross the street soon.
US are calling out command comms that it gonna happen soon, guys. Get ready. Minaret guy stands up. It's probably pretty safe to look out now. Dr. Stalker is trying to look to the south here. Bybee looking towards the west. I think Mr. Spurious tried taking some shots at Bybee there. Matter of fact, he hits Bybee. Bybee and Freaks able to bounce up to the northern.
Moving. They need to just keep moving.
Yep, here they go.
In school.
Freaks is moving through. He's got to a safe spot now, behind the compound.
We're not going to have eyes on them when they move northwest.
And Chameleon, I was pointing out the obvious, but the AR is still a little bit off the mark here. Whoa, not that time. Dr. Stalker goes down. Freaks walks in the compound, forgets to check a corner, gets destroyed, gets shot in the ass.
And then there was one.
Bybee, responsible for, or partially responsible for, pretty good flank there. Was able to get some, tried to get some momentum going, and still had some momentum going late in the round. Also able to kill off some of command comms there for US.
He can definitely hear JP crawling around inside there, and he knows he's watching his door.
Spurious from the minaret, able to take some shots at Bybee, makes him fall back. Bybee not hiding himself whatsoever. And the Southern force is now running up, trying to join in the party here.
What direction, command?
I wonder if Bybee's going to be able to watch this murder hole. Hero's looking at it, though. Yeah,
And
that was a low
that
percentage play.
is GG. Awesome job tonight from both commands, actually. Shout out to Hero and Phoenix. Both did a phenomenal job both rounds.
My first opera didn't die, and I got a kill.
Yep. Also, our event admins that run these events that actually deal with the servers, getting everything going, and helping to make sure everyone is playing pretty fairly. That's Evan and Silent. Silent, the manager of all event admins, doing a fantastic job, as I am also an event admin, trying to anyway, we're gonna move on from that. I'm not quite sure what we have next on the schedule, but I know it involves commanders. I'm not entirely sure what the flow for that is, so that may be, I don't know if it's gonna happen. I think we're going to try to get them real quick here. We're bringing the commanders in. It would be Phoenix and Hero, both going 1-1 tonight. Unless I missed something. I'm pretty sure it's 1-1. Yeah.
Yeah. The US won both rounds tonight. Really just phenomenal job from both commanders. Specifically as they played on the US side. We saw them both leading the charge, you know, working with getting fire superiority on top of the hills like we saw in round 1 with the MRAPs, round 2 with the Chameleon and all those ARs up there on the north. It just shows how elevation and automatic riflemen just make a huge difference. And I believe we have both commanders in here. Yeah, so Phoenix, Hero, awesome job tonight, and welcome to the stream.
Thank you. It was fun.
Thank you. All right, so
Phoenix.
we're just gonna briefly ask you guys a couple questions. Well, first off, I gotta ask both of you. When both of you played INS, so round 1 and 2, what was the decision to pull off the hills so quickly? Phoenix, you want to go first?
Sure. So for round 2 as INS, we had a pretty good opportunity to ambush them in the south. I think that was with Squad 3 and creeping. And while the opportunity was great, our execution was not as much, and I think we lost half of us pretty quickly, which resulted in us wanting to pull off, as you know, avoid risking any further losses there. I think in the north, actually, we lost Squad 2 pretty quickly as well, but they had some pretty great comeback opportunities after almost getting wiped, able to, you know, snipe those 2 MRAP gunners. So we did, you know, get wiped pretty quickly and pulled off pretty quickly, but we were able to make it somewhat worth it.
Mm-hmm. And Hero, what was the decision when in round 1 when you were as INS to pull off the northern hill so quickly into that firefight?
Well, I tried to keep my guys on that hill as long as I could, but after Shookheart died and their numbers started dropping, I decided it was best to pull them off, especially when I realized that the MRAPs probably had a better advantage point on them. I kept Xbit up there as long as possible, and I think he stayed there till the very last moment.
It just goes to show how crucial the squad lead role is in this. And as soon as actually Bcarr and me pointed out numerous times throughout tonight, when that squad lead goes down, it just throws the remaining assets into chaos. And at one point we saw 8 people from Sighart's squad just crawling around on top of a hill just aimlessly. They had no idea what to do. And there's a bit of a scramble period between the fire team lead taking over and the SL going down.
Yeah, the SL going down and the MRAP going down. Their main source of cover went down. It was just sort of one of those. It's the panic situation that happens in operations when they get to that point. Obviously, the plan is out the window, and they're just trying to keep some sort of element together. And that's a lot difficult when you have command comp shifting around and stuff like that. Although I want to ask on for round 2 specifically, what was the Northern Squad's goal? I believe this was Phoenix's squad in the north.
Crispy
Yeah,
squad.
yeah. Well, Phoenix commanding Crispy squad. What was the initial? What was your initial plan for that squad? Was it to go all the way up the ridge, or just sort of like hold that that northern point north of the school?
Is this round 2?
That's correct.
Sure. So round 2, the squad that was up in the north was originally meant to be a either a flanking or a screening element. We had Dashby in the field, and his squad was lined up looking southwest. We were hoping that the Overwatch position would be able to rain fire down on them if they chose to send a squad with their Logis. Felt like Hero basically read our mind, though. He sent quite a strong element up there, and I actually ended up breaking off part of Squad 4, I believe, to go meet up with Squad 2 and try and provide a little bit more firepower up there to take out those MRAPs.
Yeah, Hero, 2 MRAPs in the north. I mean, I don't think we've seen that many that devotion to a northern push before in Vanguard since, or as far as I'm aware. 2 MRAPs in the north. What was the thought behind that? Is the south just not desirable to you, or do you just think that there's more mobility in the north, or what's your thought process behind that?
I thought there was way more mobility on the northern side. With both MRAPs up there, also with the majority of my team, I thought we got a lot of fire suppression down. Also with Sugarheart's MRAP being on the opposite hill, we could always cross over the fire and help suppress each other's hills, which we pretty much did, although we didn't get to see that southern contact until they were already being engaged.
Well, we don't want to keep you here too long. I just have one final question for both of you. What would, after playing both rounds now, what is one decision you would have made differently? We'll start with Phoenix.
That's a good question. I think oftentimes some of our screening elements weren't able to rely too heavily on their fellow squads. So either keeping a better line of sight, or that, or keeping them more flexible, having them pull out sooner rather than later. Sometimes it's high risk, high reward, and certainly a couple times this up, it was more risk than reward.
What about you, Hero?
I don't think I would really change anything. I think my team did an excellent job with what we had. Although I probably should have reacted a little sooner when I realized that after Sugarheart died, I realized he also didn't have his lat anymore. So I should have realized that they were pretty much useless and should have pulled them back sooner. I'd say that's my only regret.
All right, guys.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah, appreciate it. This is something new we like to try, and definitely get ready to explain yourself in the future for future operations on Wednesdays and Sunday or Saturdays rather. Thanks for you guys coming out. That was Phoenix and Hero running our commands for this evening, and we're done here for the night. Jack, it's a lot of fun casting with you tonight. This is your first time. Did you have fun with it?
Oh, dude, I had a lot of fun, and I plan on doing it many more times in the future. Huge shout out to Shadow Ritual, working the magic behind the scenes.
Yes.
He's the guy switching the cameras. He's the sweet little voice in my ear telling me what to say, what to do. So this wouldn't be possible without him tonight. And thank you, Bcarr, for being a great co-caster.
Yeah, man. Once again, if you're interested in learning more about us and how to get involved with the community and playing more of these operations in the month, just like tonight was an open operation. You got to sign up for basic to be able to play more what's on the calendar. SquadOps.gg is the place to go to get started. Join our Discord, sign up on the website, link those accounts, and once you do that, sign up for basic. After you get basic done, you could do anything. The world is your oyster. You could do it all. except for like very specific things and weird cases. But don't worry about it. Just sign up for operations and do it because it'll be. Anyway, thank you, Jack. Thank you, Shadowed, for riding along for this evening. I'm Bcarr. Twitch.tv/Squad Ops. Follow us. We got more broadcasts coming this weekend, Saturday, 2 different times. And you can check the calendar on our website for when those are in your time zone. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on Saturday.
Have a good night, everyone.